Hello, hello, hello. It is Wednesday and it's time for Pop and Politics. We are talking about the latest and hot topics, news, and entertainment. I'm KJ along with my amazing co-hosts. Tonight we have Yana, Shelly E, and back with us, the special guest co-host tonight is Chris Anderson. He is the chairman of the Maryland Black Republican Council. How are you all doing tonight?
Doing great.
All right, excellent. All right, as I always say, join the conversation by leaving a comment on YouTube or Twitter. We will check the comments periodically throughout the show. And don't just comment, subscribe. If you miss us here on YouTube, you can watch us on Rumble. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the same name, Pop and Politics. Guys, we are an independent media, and if you want to support what we do, your super chats and donations go a long way in helping us produce conservative content. Any amount is appreciated. Again, this is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that understand there's a target on our backs because we value freedom. But we must stand. Let's stand together, subscribe so we can help us amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, everybody, let's set it off. So we are going to get right into it tonight. Let's see here. All right. I believe, do we have clip one? We were having a little bit of technical difficulty.
Everybody needs to really that are interested in what's going on in this country, need to take that to heart. Because you can go back and you can look at the rise of other fascist governments, and it's the playbook. It is the playbook that you lie so much that you numb the media, you numb the masses, you numb people, and soon they give up on trying to figure out what the truth is. And I hear this from people I grew up with all the time and people I've known for a very long time. They go, oh, you know, Joe, I just don't watch news anymore, and I don't read news anymore because you can't tell who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth. And then you talk to them further and you ask where they get their news from, and it will be from a conspiracy website that spreads these sort of lies. And so in part they get what they're looking for, but also in part they hear these lies, and again, it numbs them so much that they just give up. And that's exactly what's going on here. And what's the purpose of it? As Bernie Sanders said, it's to undermine faith in institutions. When you have a presidential candidate, a president at the time, saying, don't trust American democracy because I lost, and you have Republicans that follow along and undermine the American institution of democracy, and what Trump's own people said was the safest election ever, the cleanest election ever. And then you have a former president saying, don't trust the jury system. And then you have senators like Marco Rubio going out and saying that trial by jury in the United States of America with all the checks and balances is no better than Castro's Cuba. That is the undermining of institutions that radicals on the far left did in the 60s. And the 70s?
Wow, you can
and
stop.
The conservatives.
Okay, so let's respond to this. He mentioned that was Joe Scarborough from MSNBC's Morning Joe, and he's saying, of course, Trump is a fascist, and he just said because of all of that. Shelley, I want to start with you. How do you respond to that?
When he was talking about the people he talks to and they say where they get their morning or their news from, I thought he was going to say MSNBC because those are the people who perpetuate the lies constantly. And I want to go over this idea of fascism. Most people mistakenly and erroneously believe that fascism is on the right. It's a far right movement. It really is not. The only thing that trips people up is because they see a dictator, a strong totalitarian dictator. So they automatically think it's the right. But when you look at the ideology of fascism, It is anti-capitalism. It is anti-individualism. It is certainly anti-American. It believes in the state run from your life, from cradle to grave, as we like to say. That is the ideology ultimately of fascism. The one difference is that fascists tend to believe in a national identity. So this trips up a lot of people, but when you break down the ideology, fascism is not a far-right movement. It is a leftist movement. Leftists automatically or ultimately believe in government-run everything, including your life.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on that, Yana. I mean, he mentioned a couple things. Of course, he's talking about the media, and he's saying that, Trump is wrong to talk about fake news. But then he also talked about the trial, talked about how, Trump mentioned how he was unsure about the election system. What are your response to those things?
So what I got from that presentation was that he's basically telling Americans that we cannot question anything. Mm-hmm. So the way that he presented it is that we should just accept, we should not think critically. Mm-hmm. So he literally is saying that we can't think critically because if we do, then somehow that's putting us into the fascist camp. And conspiracy, all these words that he's using, these, it is a leftist playbook when they use words like fascist, conspiracy theorist, Nazi, it's to demonize the other side. And he kept saying they, so, talking about the other side. So it's not about us as Americans and we need to figure out, how to run this country and how to fight for this country. No, it's us versus them. So it's very much, very leftist, very communist way of presenting this issue.
Yeah. I want to get your thoughts on that, Chris.
Well, I agree with Shelley and Jan. I thought when he said about the media, I thought he was going to say MSNBC, and I quit because he know damn well he's the biggest liar on. Look what he said. He said, look at some of the things he mentioned. He said, people are going to conspiracy to get their news. Why? He said, well, when they look at us, they don't know what to believe, whether we're telling lies or not. That was way before Trump. The veil is right. We're in a so-called woke society now. People are exposing the media. So I don't think it's about politics. I think it's about the media, all of them, Fox News, all of them. They've been exposed for telling lies. Right. And we know that. Right. He's one of the biggest ones. Right. He's one of the biggest ones.
But they don't think of themselves as liars.
Of course. So he wants the focus to come off of independent. I talked to, in Milwaukee, I talked to Kelly. What's the blonde lady? Was
Kellyanne Conway?
No, it was on Fox News. Blonde lady got her own TV show.
Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly. I talked to Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly said the future of media she said media is basically dead. The future of media is independent media. Mm-hmm. So they don't want them to go to the so-called, they call independent media conspiracy. Right. They're not. They're people out there. Candace Owens, another one. They want the right to tell the truth. Right. They want the right to be on Twitter, like Tucker Carlson, and tell the truth. People like him are lying, and he knows it.
Yeah. And one of the things, one of the failures, one of the reasons why people are so questioning the media, questioning the legitimacy and the validity of the media, is because they won't ask questions. They have failed to ask questions of this current, of Kamala Harris. They have failed to ask questions or even hardball questions during debates. And this is why we are at the period that we're at. Take a look at this. This is clip number 4 of Kamala Harris. And this is what how she talked about her stances when she first ran for office for president in 2019. Take a look.
It was a major pillar of her first presidential campaign and would force 150 million Americans onto government health insurance. Here's a flashback.
Access to affordable health care should not be a privilege, it should be a right.
You support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Well, listen, the idea is that everyone gets access to medical care, and you don't have to go through the process of going through an insurance company. Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
Vice President Kamala Harris has been a vocal supporter of Medicare for All, co-sponsoring the bill with Senator Bernie Sanders in 2017 and campaigning on the platform in 2019. On the campaign trail, she called for the end to private insurance and more.
Who here would abolish their private health insurance in favor of a government-run plan? Yeah. All right.
She has advocated for Medicare for All with a 10-year phase-in period. This would add significantly to the nation's debt, costing $44 trillion, and that the 2019 plan would put everyone in this country on Medicare.
It would also cover folks that were non-citizens and undocumented workers as well. It was pretty expansive. It would rely upon the existing Medicare program and would end private health insurance as we know it today.
Mm-hmm. All right. So why isn't he questioning whether or not she can come out and stand on those comments? Why isn't he questioning what this is 25 days Kamala Harris has come out and said she's going to be the Democratic nominee, and she has failed to even come out and answer questions for the American people. She has failed. And MSNBC, ABC, these morning shows on Sundays, they question Trump and J.D. Vance, and they have failed to question her. They are derelict on their duty.
They don't care. I'm sorry. They don't care about that. They have an agenda. They actually believe and think that what they're doing is what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to question. They are the ones who demagogue anybody, particularly if you want to dare or deign question their agenda, their plans. Kamala Harris is a communist. I said last night or whatever day we were on, we are beyond the socialist stage. We are in this communist Marxism mode, and we may be even a little bit further to the fascism level if I think about it even more. But these people, the Morning Joes, all of these CNNs, whatever, they are complicit in tearing down the United States of America. Yes. This is what they're doing, and this is their agenda. All of you Americans out here, us included, if we don't get out and vote in September, early voting, whatever state you're in, if you don't vote, just know that you are as complicit as these people are in tearing up our country.
Yeah, and this is the thing. You just said it. Early voting, which is ridiculous.
Right.
We no longer have a voting day. Now we have a voting month. It starts, I believe, in September. And she has not done one single interview. So not only have we not heard her stance on issues, but she didn't even talk about, we want to know why did you were sitting amongst Joe Biden for years, and you never even said, you always said he was right on, he had all of his faculties, and then all of a sudden he drops out. We don't even have that answer.
Right, and he drops out, and somehow she's now the nominee.
Right.
Which she was never nominated. Yeah, she was not voted in.
There's so many
that's
things
really
to find out.
It's a coup, really. It's a takeover.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, naturally, shouldn't Joe Biden should step down immediately and then she takes over? Isn't that she should be the president right now?
But they don't want to do that though.
But she's not.
No.
And so what is going on? And she already has a vice president picked, and nobody really voted any of that in. And so it's really it does sound like what happens in totalitarian states.
But we're the fascists,
right?
Yeah. Right. We're looking at we're looking at them cheating 101. You know, we're going to steal election. We got to get Joe out of there. Joe should have gave a reason why he stepped down. I thought when you step down, don't you supposed to give a reason and someone take over for you? And she's supposed to be the president right now. So
well, he didn't do that.
The reason he said was because the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, were saying they don't think he could win, and so he dropped out.
Chris,
that's not a reason.
Let's be clear. No, let's be clear. technically he did not resign from the presidency. He removed himself, resigned, whatever, stepped down from the nomination process to be the next president.
Right.
So technically that's the distinction there. I just want to be accurate with that, right? So on the books, if you will, he's still the president. But what they are doing, you said it right, cheating 101. They are just perfecting their cheating every election. They're doing it better and better, and they're doing it in our faces. This is for the American people to make sure it does not happen.
But we have always had, I mean, the investigative, the media has always been sort of like the fourth branch of government.
It's supposed to be.
Right.
The fourth branch of the estate, the fourth estate, yes.
And they have not been doing their job, and this has become very dangerous. I hope people understand what exactly Kamala Harris ran on, and actually the reason why people didn't vote for her in the Democrat primary. I mean, she some of her stances are really scary. As we saw there, she wants to get rid of people's home insurance, private insurance. She has supported that. She supports allowing death row inmates to vote. She promoted a fund to bail out violent protesters during the 2020 riots. She supports abolishing ICE. She was named in 2019 the most liberal U.S. senator. She supports, she never visited the border. And she's considered a crime to enter the U.S. illegally. She considered it not being a crime, making it not a crime to enter the U.S. illegally. These are major policy differences, not just with Trump, but within her own, with Biden.
Right.
With Biden.
KJ, all of that is correct. This is where I'm going to say, Republicans, our side, we must step up. Forget the race baiting, forget the identity politics, and talk about these issues. The media won't do it. We have the alternative media or independent media. Let's use it, because these people are hell-bent on making the USA something totally different. Again, I will repeat, we are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. That was Obama, his first presidency, and this is the continuation of it. If we want our country to still be and remain a constitutional republic, then we had better get on the ball.
Yeah. And what's amazing to me is that how things have flipped. So back in the day when, I remember during Obama's time, it was the liberals that were into all this alternative media sources. It was during Bush's time too. It was cool, to find all these other sources of information. The left was all like, oh, we're anti-establishment, and we want to like fight, whatever the man and all that. But it was supposed to be like, when I was in the liberal community, it was like cool, to look into alternative news sources. And now you see people on the left, they're demonizing those that are looking. It's
crazy, it's creepy, and guys, this may actually work. Gateway Pundit has an article out by Wayne Allen Root, and he talks about all of this that Kamala's been doing. She's hiding in the basement, not in the basement, but she's hiding from the media, and they talk about how this may actually win her the election. So I want to talk about, it says about Biden's mental and physical health. Okay, so it says, we have been gaslighted for the past 4 years again and again about virtually everything, about Biden's mental and physical health, COVID vaccines, wide open border, the economy, inflation, the list goes on, about green energy. And the media, social media, and pollsters are trying to desperately convince you that Kamala is suddenly leading Trump. We've seen this. They want us to believe that the person in charge, Biden's partner for the past 4 years, the person who caused all of this pain, all of these issues, with solutions, she has the solutions to make the pain go away. So basically, the plan is to, he says, put her in witness protection program, hide her for the next 11 weeks, just like they did in 2020. And because anytime she speaks, the world finds she's as dumb as a box of rocks. and then hire social media influencers. You guys have seen they've been paying social media influencers on the left to push narratives for her, and this may actually work.
Yes, it can work. Unfortunately, I hate saying it, but it can work. And let me tell you why. I wrote down a few things. Talking about them cheating, Chris, they have been pulling off scamdemics. They've been pulling off miseducating our children. They've been pulling off letting violent criminals out or not even prosecuting them. They've been pulling off the BLM, tearing up the cities and the streets across the country. They have been pulling off other forms of fraud, all kinds of things. They have been pulling it off right in our face. And again, each election, they get better at it to the point where they don't even lie about it. No. They don't have to, because at least half of the American public, yes, Americans, not even including the illegals, not including those people, just Americans buy into this crap. Why? Because they want to be government on the titties of government, sucking out all the milk that they can. That's what they want. And it can destroy our country. This is why I'm urging other Americans, the other half of us, get out there and vote and say, no, this is our country. Raise your flags. Speak whatever, quote unquote, your truth, like they say on the left. But speak the truth to these people. They are hell-bent on destroying our country. Yes, it can work.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I agree. It can. And another thing besides voting, people need to share this information. If they're watching something like our show on YouTube, share it.
Exactly.
If you're seeing anything, share it. Talk to people. The issue, I think, of people on the right is a lot of people are still afraid to speak up.
Right.
And to let their associates know what they believe. They cannot be so scared of all the time. Like, this is your country. This is the future of this country and the children that are growing up here. You can't just keep being scared. Then, the country will fall into communist hands.
But how do we get the information to the people? I mean, and you talk about, again, they're not getting her. She's not doing interviews. And about the rigging. I mean, they've got ballot boxes behind ballot boxes. I mean, you see them, they're putting people on the ballots. They're fake mail-in ballots, millions of ballots from corrupt ballot drop boxes. You guys know, what is it? Black Girls Vote. Oh. We're here in Baltimore City. They push these ballot boxes out there. They're stuffing these ballot boxes. They're going to anybody, dead or alive. They're putting these people out there to vote. How do we push back against that?
The thing. We shouldn't be afraid. I don't understand why the Republican Party is not slapping back. They at this point, they should be slapping back. First of all, you don't want Kamala in front of a camera. We all know why they don't. She's one laugh away from losing. I'm good. We're one laugh away from being burdened by things that
burdened by the unburdened.
By the unburdened. She's one laugh away from being burdened, and they know that. Mm-hmm. So we got to get her to come out. That's number one. What the Republican Party should be doing is putting out ads to intimidate. Say, put her out there with that stupid laugh. Every time she say, put ads out and say the media play for Donald Trump. Media interview Kamala Harris and see if she's changed on this subject and force her in front of a camera. She's going to laugh at the convention anyway. She's going to get up there and say, everybody's going to say, oh my God. She's going to say something stupid like electric cars should be the thing.
We need to be unburdened by the gasoline cars.
So she got one time to do that, and then they know.
But again, even the DNC, that convention, it's teleprompter. She's going to be reading from it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Personally, I think two things need to happen. One, I think Trump needs to say, I'm not doing any more interviews until she does. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking to the press until she does. I think that's number one, because that dries up the press, because that's what they love. They want to get, Trump and J.D. Vance out there. That's what they feel like they can eat off of for now. So she's not doing any press. I think he should say, I'm not doing anything until she comes out. And then two, I think we need to start infiltration. She was just at Howard University.
She'll be in PG County
We should have had people there to ask her tough questions, and we have our camera phones out getting her on the
She's in PG County.
That's a good idea.
The Republicans need to infiltrate people within these camps, asking her questions, video recording it and then posting it online, because of course she's too afraid to come out and answer questions for the American people. So we need to demand.
I don't think I think she's afraid in that sense, but I don't think she's feeling anything because the media are covering for her.
Again,
she doesn't have to. There's no incentive for her to do it. If she's riding the polls right now, and, some polls have her up a little bit more in some states, but in some demographics. But then, okay, why does she feel? The media's covering for her. They are taking her hits, if you will, and they are doing a good job of keeping her hidden. So why should she feel like she has a need to come out? She's basically saying, F you, Americans. You're going to vote for me no matter what because I'm black and I'm a woman, I'm Indian today or whatever you want to be. And that's why you're going to vote for me. And if you don't, we're going to call you racist. And again, unfortunately, too many Americans actually cower from the fear.
Yeah. I do want to acknowledge our super chatters tonight, guys. Thank you so much. Cynthia says Trump in North Carolina today was awesome. Laid out economy for the future. Excellent. Love it. Yep. Thank you so much, Cynthia. I want to move on. You're talking about getting answers from these elected officials. Vivek Ramaswamy, who I still think should have probably been the VP. Yeah. He was on the Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God.
Again.
Yes, again. And I mean, he was just taking questions. Anything was on the table, and he gave some really good responses. And I want you guys to take a look at this. This is clip number 2.
First part, though, I think she owes the people of this country an answer. Where does she stand on nationalizing healthcare? Are you for it or are you against it? Where do you stand? This is a big one that people don't talk about. Affects small business owners, including black and white business owners across the country. She favors what's called a tax on unrealized capital gains. What that means is, even if you have a business, you're a businessman too, right? So you're operating a business, but to take somebody who's maybe in a tougher position than you are. That means you have to pay taxes even when you don't have the cash to pay those taxes because the government says that it's worth something and you have to pay 25% of that value every year. Well, what if you don't have the cash in your pocket? That forces you to either sell your business, take out a loan to pay taxes. That's a formula for real economic calamity. She has consistently supported that. That's what we need to be talking about. Are you still in favor of it? If so, why? Let's have that policy debate. Right. And I think that hiding from those issues is something that leaves American people holding the bag.
She'll get to that, I'm sure, when the debates come and everything else.
We only have 3 months.
She does interviews. I agree with that. I want to ask you think about the flip-flopping, too. Isn't that what politicians do, though? And what I mean by that is J.D. Vance was calling Trump America's Hitler, right? But now when it comes to Trump, he's the Hawk Tuah girl. Like he's just, he's sucking him off every chance he gets. And that's what a lot of y'all do. Like just politicians in general. You see, so many different Republicans have said so many negative things about Donald Trump, but as soon as he becomes the nominee, everybody just falls in line.
And normally they fall in line in unison, and you can rage against the machine. It doesn't feel like Trump and Vance are like it's not there. Like
so what do you call that? That's flip-flopping?
So here's what I will say: is it fair game to press J.D. Vance hard on why he said certain things about Donald Trump before versus what his view is on Donald Trump today? Yes, I think that's fair game. Mm-hmm. And has he been pressed and has he answered for that? Yes, he has. What I would love to see is both candidates, and Kamala Harris hasn't done this yet. I'd love to challenge her to do it because I think it's good for the voters of the country. She hasn't sat down for one media interview of a hard-pressing one-on-one variety yet. And she's actually the leading candidate now in many of the polls for U.S. president. So I just think we deserve a country where the people are willing to show up. She should show up here. She should show up on CNBC, where I was this morning, and actually engage in hard questions about what her beliefs are. You saw JD, say what you will, on 3 shows yesterday, pressed on exactly that very issue. And I think that's good for the American people to then be able to make their own judgment. It's not your judgment or a journalist's judgment, but it's what people at home are able to see to assess. Do I actually believe somebody who believes they changed their mind over the course of time? Kamala Harris might have changed her mind. I think it's okay. Mm-hmm. Flip-flopping is one thing, changing your mind thoughtfully is another. But you deserve to be questioned on it, and it's up to the voters to decide whether or not they believe you. Right now, we're not getting that chance. And I do think it is, you're saying, well, hopefully we're going to see that. I'm not sure yet that we will. It's been about a solid month that Kamala Harris has been the presumptive nominee. We got the convention coming up, this coming week, next week. I think it is vital for the health of this country that the same treatment that the media gave Joe Biden in that last few weeks after his debate, they didn't do that for 3 years. Yeah. For 3 years, we missed that. The fact that it took that early debate and Donald Trump demolishing him in that debate for the country to suddenly wake up and say that Joe Biden is not a functioning U.S. president is actually a damning indictment of the entire media and its relationship to the political class. So we can't make that same mistake with Kamala Harris. I think the media needs to demand that she at least face the same kind of questioning that, frankly, J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are getting right now. And then the public, it's up to them to decide. That's a functioning democracy.
But you're not implying, by her not doing the interviews and based off of the way that Biden was treated in those last couple of weeks, you're not implying that you don't think she's competent to be the president of the United States, right?
I'm saying the media's covering for her right now the same way they covered for Biden for 3 years.
You think they're covering, or you think that she's just using
They're not playing hard. They're not paying this. She's using a strategy. Okay, I think she's using some smart.
Which politicians do.
That's fine. But I think it's the media's job now to cut through that strategy and say, this person very well could be the president of the United States. Has at least a 50% chance right now, according to most forecasts, of being the next president. She deserves to be questioned, not with kid gloves, but questioned with the gloves off on what exactly her policy vision is for the country. Until that happens, I think the voters are hiding in the dark.
Okay, so we have it sped up a little bit so we won't have any issues with them. But I want to talk about the response that Vivek got from Charlemagne the God. Specifically, when Vivek was speaking to him, he was talking to him about capital gains and explaining that, and talking about a policy issue that Kamala Harris has flip-flopped on. And Charlemagne is just like, oh, well, she'll talk about that in the debate. But what about that Hawks tour? What about when he was calling him names and Trump, J.D. Vance didn't like Trump at first and now he likes him now? What? I mean, this is where you go. Vivek is talking about a serious policy issue and you're talking about J.D. Vance calling Trump a name. I mean, this is why I have I don't have any confidence in these people. I really don't.
You talking about like the Charlemagne types?
Yeah, Charlemagne types.
Well, yeah, but again, unfortunately, he has a large audience, and these are the people who follow him and who think like this. This is why the racial and the identity politics are at the top of their mind. They don't think, they emote. Charlemagne, first of all, I don't have whatever he calls himself. First of all, he's an idiot, okay? He's as much of an idiot as Kamala Harris is. These are the types of people who want America to be something else. They don't want to talk about policy. Vivek pointed out to him, you're a business owner. You have your own business. Why don't you basically focus on this policy that if she enacts it, it's going to affect your bottom line? That doesn't matter to them. All that matters is the skin color, and she's a woman. These people are idiots, and the unfortunate part is that I call them dangerous idiots because they are tearing up our country.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What I see in Charlemagne, with all due respect, I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's smart, but he's bought by the media.
Okay.
I mean, he was going to say, he interviewed Kamala a little while back, and she said, excuse me, Charlemagne, you're starting to sound like a Republican. It's like a cult thing. You either got to be black or Democrat. You're starting to sound like a Republican. So she's trying to turn the black community against them. Black community don't fall for it. You can be whatever you want. You don't have to be a Democrat. And she's calling him a Republican. She's basically saying, I'm going to out you as a Republican because you're saying too much stuff about Trump. Because one minute Charlemagne is saying, oh, Trump's policies are better. The next minute he wants to get on board because the media, probably the network, probably told him, you better start
You might be right.
stuff about Kamala and stop talking about Trump because your job's on the line. And, that shows that the media is bought.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, I can see that, but he's not fighting back. So he falls in line.
He wants that job.
Right.
He wants that job.
So
call him up. I dare. He wants that job.
And it's sad. Like, that's exactly when I was listening to that. It seems like Vivek is there talking sense. He's an intellectual. And these are these like low class, not very intelligent. I mean, no, they're not. I mean, I'm not saying he's completely stupid.
Right.
But
right.
he is, he represents like the questions that he asked when he brought up, well, what about, J.D. Vance and what he said about Trump. But J.D. and Vivek had an answer. J.D. Vance responded to that. He actually explained, his thought process. And so it's sad to see that Vivek and other people who are intelligent are going on these podcasts. It's unfortunate.
I guess it's a good thing that he does.
Get him on here.
What? Yeah, that's good.
It is a good thing because of that audience, like you mentioned, Chris. They do have an audience. And people are watching. And so it's good to hear Vivek's well thought out responses because people are suffering. Take a look at this. This is clip number 3.
How hard has inflation hit you?
It hit me hard. It's hitting me hard.
What do you blame for it?
I blame the federal government at this point. If a working class mom who works as a paralegal cannot buy a $2 bell pepper because it's now $5, imagine a mother living on food stamps. Imagine a mother who's making minimum wage trying to feed children. They're killing us without killing us. If you understand that. They're killing us without telling us they're killing us. They're hurting people in ways that they can't help themselves. It's either feed my child or how about feed my children and I don't. But I have to go work.
This is why we need the media to ask the tough questions. This is why we need to know about Kamala Harris's policies and how it's going to affect working moms, how it's going to affect everyday Americans. This is why.
We do need to know that. She's on the record. This is why I'm saying, since she's not going to do an interview, I guess at least until after the debate or whenever that is, if she does at all. This is why Republicans need to play up these issues. To get rid of the racial or the race identity and identity politics. But I wanted to wrap around back to Charlamagne the God. It was interesting because a white man told him he wasn't black if he didn't vote for him. The black woman, Kamala, told him that he's not a Democrat because he wasn't speaking the right language, right? And then with Vivek, I wish Vivek had challenged him to say, oh, you mean like what you're telling me that J.D. Vance said something about Trump? You mean like Kamala told Joe he was a racist before she became the vice president? I mean, just saying, we need to be on offense and not always on defense. Bring it back to them and then steer right back to the issues.
Right. I'm interested to hear what Yana has to say as well, but it's in the identity politics realm. I think Charlamagne, we have to count on us as a people to be smart. We call ourselves woke. We better be woke this election. We better be woke. And I hear your frustration in your voice because they're trying to trick us again. Mm-hmm. Really black people. Now you brought up the black voters. It's really black people they're trying to trick. And it's really black people they're trying to hurt. So this inflation, everything's going to hurt, like she said, the people on the bottom. If we call ourselves woke, we better be woke in this election, and we better not be voting for Kamala Harris, because just by her not speaking, we know what they're going to do. They're going to hit us hard with inflation. We can't vote our way out of 4 years of starving to death. Mm-hmm. So we better wake. If we call yourself woke, you better be woke now. Right. What do you think?
Well, that lady, I feel so sorry for everyone in this country right now who's going through, a hard time. But again, I'm afraid that people don't really understand how economics works.
Yep.
So the thing is that one of the reasons why we have this inflation is that the left was pushing for hiking up the minimum wage. So they brought up the minimum wage in these places like, McDonald's, Starbucks. And so now people who actually are more qualified and working at, maybe jobs that require more education are actually making the same money because their salaries did not go up. And it's only, the service people. And now, how does the economy respond? They have to raise prices on, food, service, all of that. So now everyone is becoming poor.
Right.
And so it's a repetition of what goes on in socialist countries, is that they're equalizing everyone.
Everything, yes.
So now, regardless whether you have a college degree or not, you're making the same money as someone who doesn't have a college degree. And that's what was going on in the Soviet Union. That was the idea of socialism, of communism, regardless whether you're a doctor or you stocking shelves in a grocery store, you should not have much of a difference in income. And so that is actually playing into this leftist utopia idea. And now what they will promise is they might promise, something like universal basic income to people, and they'll buy it. Unfortunately, people don't understand how economics work.
No, they don't.
Yeah, you're right. She actually co-sponsored with another socialist, Bernie Sanders, the Green New Deal. Now, when they tried to push it forward, it was so bad that it couldn't go anywhere. But here she is again. She is for socialist things like this. She wanted to break the Senate to get it passed. She says, I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal, she said, which was an extreme policy that called for America to become entirely reliant on so-called green energy by 2050.
Right.
And the stuff they had in that Green New Deal, not only it was a situation where they were trying to limit people how many cars you could have.
How many cars you can have, where you can drive.
Yep. And
what kind of car?
Remember,
what kind of car?
What kind of car?
Yeah.
I'm going to repeat this too. People who 99% of the time act on emotion. And that, again, we all have emotions, right? But when you act on them, if that's your general mantra, your general way of life, they are dangerous. This is why I'm calling these people dangerous. They act on emotion. That policy, that Green Deal sounds good. Just like it sounds good for everybody to get rid of their private insurance and be on the government dole. Mind you, there's always carve-outs for the people who are making those laws, right? They don't have to get on those policies. But if you, like Jan, I was talking about the grocery store, that woman, when I go to the grocery store, I want to start begging for half of a green pepper. Because if, $5 for the whole, give me half of one. But these are the policies that we are not talking about, that the media is certainly not talking about. Kamala Harris doesn't want to talk about them because, hell, she wouldn't know what to say. She's going to trip herself up. But I tell you one thing, Americans, we better wake up. You talking about being woke? We better wake up and get busy.
We better prove it now.
And the most dangerous part about this is, at least with Bernie Sanders, he comes out and he tells you he is a socialist. He is for government health care. He is for, guaranteed income. He tells you that's what he's for. Kamala Harris is such a liar because she's actually said she's for this stuff. But now, because it's not politically expedient, she's trying to change stuff around. So no telling what she's going to do if she gets into office.
And it works, KJ. That's why she's doing it. It
I know education is going to be at an all-time low if she gets in office. They're going to dumb us down so much, they probably going to try to vote her in a second time. It's going to be a circus convention. I can't wait to see the DNC convention. It's going to be a circus. Y'all waiting to see it? I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I do want to acknowledge our super chatters. Thank you so much, guys. All right, we have XRXOXPX. Says, we have been targeted by the MSM. Half the country has been silenced. The middle class has been silenced. The business class has been destroyed. Our only chance is the debate. Show the American public the truth in real time. Absolutely, yes. Kung Fu CJ, thank you so much. Says the gypsy is hitting on all cylinders. Economics is everything, right? That's gypsy. That's cute. All right, Gina. Oh my gosh, thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
Says Kamala, first policy is a stolen one, just like Wall's stolen valor. Yes, she's talking about the tax on tips. No tax on tips.
She got that from Trump.
Yeah, he was talking about it for the last couple of months, and now she stole it. Anthony, thank you so much, Anthony. All right, it's terrible. We're in a sad state of affairs right now. We are in a sad state of affairs, and honestly, guys, I'm actually nervous. I'm very nervous. I am, because Trump. I want him to stick to the policies. I want him to stick to the issues, but I don't even know if that's going to be enough.
I don't know. I'm with you.
He's going to call her a B.
I'm with you.
I hope he don't get on the stage under the boulder and call her.
I hope, but he need. I think the way I disagree with you, KJ, I think he does need to be out in front of the media, but he needs to be talking about the policies, and he needs to have his campaign everywhere. The people in his campaign talking about the policy. Again, leave the race and the identity politics. Okay, whatever. She's a female. Leave that stuff alone and talk. Go like he did in 2016 or 15. Go around the country. Go to the Midwestern states and cities. Get your people out there. You talk about women. This is why I say we need a Kellyanne Conway again. We need a Kellyanne Conway in his camp.
All right, LAPD SWAT.
Hi, LA.
Thank you. Says, can you imagine Kamala sitting across the table from Vladimir Putin in arms control treaty talks?
Right, the SALT treaty.
I was thinking about that. That's the kind of questions that people need to ask her. The global policy, the international policy questions. I really want to hear her answers, because if she's going to start talking about unburdening what has been
and laughing.
and doing the cackle and talking about last time when someone asked her about the economy, she somehow brought it into the women's right to an abortion.
Oh, that's what they always did. Abortion on everything. When all else fails, abortion.
In slogans. So she has these slogans that just They just pop out of her. But that has nothing to do with the question that was being asked.
Zero.
So questions about global policy, that would be really entertaining.
Yeah, it would. And you know, because of the Democrats, because of someone like her, we have what's happening to Tulsi Gabbard. Oh my gosh, have you guys been following what is going on with Tulsi Gabbard? If anything doesn't scare you, this should. So according to a Wednesday report from Matt Taibbi, the former representative Tulsi Gabbard, a one-time presidential candidate, has been placed onto a threat list by the TSA. Gabbard is well known for her opposition to Vice President Kamala Harris in the 2020 presidential primary and for her realist foreign policy views, particularly on Syria. But beginning 2 weeks ago, Gabbard and her husband have found their boarding passes marked with SSSS designation. It's a colloquial for Quad S, indicating that the passenger is on a threat list and subjecting the passenger to lengthy random searches. Shelley, I mean, you want to talk about, we talked about Joe Scarborough in the beginning of our broadcast saying, oh, there's nothing there about weaponizing the justice system. Trump was, what he was talking about didn't make sense. This is weaponizing the justice system.
The left, like they like to accuse the right of doing, the left weaponizes everything. They weaponize language, they weaponize the justice system, they weaponize the economic system, they weaponize education, they do nothing but steal, kill, and destroy. I don't know. I mean, you can basically narrow it down to that theme for the left. Steal, kill, and destroy. And whatever you find, whatever concept is going to fit under that major theme. I don't know what Tulsi Gabbard has been accused of. I'm not saying, I mean, but this is ridiculous. I know she hasn't been accused of anything. She hasn't even been thought to commit terror. Hell, when I travel, I think that I'm on a terrorist list too, because I pay for the extra scrutiny. Yep. I mean, to get rid of the extra scrutiny, and I still get searched and scanned, right? But this is nothing more than demagoguery. It's fear tactics. And Tulsi Gabbard was a representative, and she had already had a high security clearance, right? The highest you can get as a representative. She's done nothing except go against the left and this machine, this demagoguery, and what the left is putting out. This is all, like you said, a weaponization of the justice system and a total abuse of what this terror watch list is supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, Jana, you talk about thinking about what's going on in like not third world countries, but Soviet countries,
like totalitarian
Russia,
countries.
Totalitarian. Yeah. I mean, this is right out of their playbook.
Exactly. This is political persecution. This is exactly what it is. I mean, she is a really decent American. She spoke against people in her own party.
Yes, she did.
And that is why they're after her. If they had their way, and the thing is that if Americans don't stop this right now, it's only going to get worse.
Exactly.
So right now they're putting someone on the terror watch list for no reason because she's, a rebel in her party. Next thing what's going to happen is those people are going to start disappearing. That's what happens in totalitarian countries.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this, Chris, because you're military.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And she talked about that. She says, I enlisted because of the terrorist attack on 9/11. I was like a lot of Americans. We enlisted to ensure the safety, security, and freedom of the American people and go after terrorists who attacked us. And so now to have confirmation, I guarantee there are other men and women in uniform or veterans now being targeted. That was Tulsi Gabbard.
Well, I like what Shelley said. Still killing. That's a biblical verse. Still kill and destroy. We better get on we better be prayed up. That's another thing. We better be prayed up. And we better have Christ in our heart, because what's going on? I mean, how can a veteran, a person that served our country, and they put her on a terrorist watch list, all because she said something about Hillary Clinton and Kamala's running for office? I mean, if this don't make her become a Republican, though, that's another thing. I'm tired of her pussyfooting around. Listen, your own party don't like you no more. Your own party stabbing you in the back. Listen, be brave. Listen, I'm tired of a whole. Charlemagne's not brave, and Tulsi served this country. I'm a veteran. She's a veteran. I'm in the Coast Guard. She's in the military as well. Look, step up and come to the Republican Party. That way, you can say they're persecuting me because I'm a Republican. I can switch. Right now, if you're in their camp, this is how they treat it. This is how they treat their traitors. Yeah. This is how they treat it. Don't become a traitor. Don't come halfway out. Come all the way out. Don't be halfway stupid. Be all the way stupid. Come out of that party. Come like the Bible say. Come from out of her. Come from out of her.
This is a continuation again of Obama, because remember, under Obama, he started going after conservatives, right? Mm-hmm. He started going after conservative groups. Under Joe Biden, he sent the Justice Department down to Virginia for the Christians and the families who were anti and trying to protect their children from dicks pretending that they're chicks, right?
Yeah.
So they weaponized the Justice Department there. This is a continuation of the same policy, the same ideology. It only gets, they just perfect it a little bit better each time.
Right. Yeah. We better watch it, though. All four of us are going to be on the list.
Oh, I already know. I think I'm on the list already.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, speaking of persecution, I want to move on to this January 6th grandma. So before we go there, guys, we are going down to D.C. on Friday. Yes. Shelly, can you talk about what we're doing?
Yeah, so we are going to attend the J6 vigil, the Freedom's Corner vigil outside of the D.C. jail this coming Friday, the 16th, right? The 16th, we will be there. Remember, we're in Maryland, so it's only about 35-minute drive, if you will, for us. But we're going to be there that evening on Friday, the 16th of August. If you are local, if you are nearby, stop on by. Don't come trying to start shit, okay? We're there for a prayer vigil. The J6 Freedom Corner. If you don't subscribe to that, don't bring your ass. Okay, stay home. But we're going where we subscribe to and people that we support. Outside the DC jail, we'll have the prayer vigil. Of course, there are some J6 prisoners in the correction center, being held there. So that's where we're going to be. But if you want to come and support us, come. You are welcome to. Don't come starting shit.
Yeah, we're going down and support these people. We don't agree with the way that this has been handled, and we want to go down there and we want to show our support. This is what we do as a community. And we're letting you know, as we always say, our mantra for 2024 is to be aware and prepare. We're no longer talking to the sheep. We are here to wake the lions. We are all lions here, and we are going down there to show our support and to raise awareness of what they are doing to these prisoners.
Right.
And we hope you guys can come meet us there.
I want to go.
You coming?
I want to go.
We're all going to be
Bring your flags, your marker gear, whatever.
I'm sorry. I want to start.
If you're in the area, there's no reason not to come out for these kind of events.
It's free.
I was just looking for the address, but send us an email. If you need more information. Where it is exactly, the time, but it's very important. It's not enough to just sit by your computer, watch videos and talk online. I mean, it helps. That definitely helps.
Yep.
But people need to see those who are coming out. And that's really what this country is about. We still have the right to do that,
right? And it makes a difference, like you're saying, when you are actually in company with other people. Yeah. That just changes the dynamics a little bit. I call it real life, real time, real people, right? That just makes a bigger difference. It just makes that impact much more felt.
Right. We need to come together.
Exactly.
I want to start some shit. I mean, I'm sorry. I want to start some shit. I mean, you got a woman. Listen, don't think this is going to be. Listen, in the future they're going to be persecuting Christians again. Yeah. I mean, this lady, all she did was pray in there.
Right.
And they put her in jail for praying? I mean, come on now. They're coming for the church next. So you people in church, you better stand up for Christ while you got a chance. Yes, I want to start. I mean, I'm not going to start because you said don't start nothing. I ain't going to start nothing plus talking about God, but I'm going to raise a hand for Christ. I'm going to say, free our people. Free our people.
I mean, we have the right to shout,
to
protest, to bring our signs, whatever it is. This is in our Constitution. We have to be able to do that.
Are you going to arrest us for praying out there? Are you going to arrest us for praying too?
Well, and for you guys who may not be aware, we're talking about this 72-year-old Colorado bed and breakfast owner, known online as the J6 Praying Grandma. She's vowing to appeal after she was ordered to pay a fine of roughly $100,000 $5,000 and serve a sentence of 6 months of home confinement for her role in the Capitol riot. So again, this is terrible. A California man was handed the second longest sentence of any defendant from that day after a judge ordered him to serve 20 years in prison for attacking police officers with flagpoles and other items. So, again, we don't condone violence. We don't condone any of that, of course, but clearly, anyone who has looked into many of the sentences for these prisoners can see it's way too much.
It's excessive.
It's excessive. It's excessive.
Many of them have not. Some of them, I'll say, have not even been given a bail hearing, let alone being released on their own recognizances for minor misdemeanors and things like that. So the court, talking about weaponization, they are using this. You see it in the media almost every day. They still talk about J6 was the worst thing that happened to the country and things like that. This is a continuation of this. But we will be there on Friday with the J6 Freedom Corner Prayer Vigil group.
All right.
What time? By the way?
We'll be there. The vigil starts at 9, so we'll get there before 9.
9 p.m.
The vigil usually starts at 9. Mm-hmm.
Yep, 9 o'clock. So definitely show up and show out if you can. So we are moving right along. I want to talk a little bit about pop culture. So talking about this viral clip of Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin, for you guys who may not know, is a Christian artist. He's had some hits such as... what was some of the hits he had?
GP, are you with me?
The Family, because when he came out with The Family.
Yeah. Stomp. Yeah. A couple of hits he had. Very popular within the Christian circle. He's a producer, a writer, and he does these songs that are a little bit more hip-hop-ish, but they are talking about Christianity. And so he came out with a big... chastising married. Well, I'll let you guys take a look. This is clip number 6.
I believe that marriage has been weaponized in Western Christianity. Giving has been weaponized in Western Christianity. Sexuality has been weaponized. For example, any woman listening to this can attest in our culture. Don't be no 30, 35-year-old single black woman and go to the family reunion. All the older women are going to do them. They're going to look at you and wonder, why you not married?
Where your man at? Where your kids at?
Like it's a prerequisite for identity and value. That if you don't have a man, if you don't have kids, that something about you is broken. Do you understand how dysfunctional these messages are?
Yeah.
And how we super spiritualize these messages. Paul said, but marriage is a necessary distraction. I have many friends that were in ministry at church, and the church has told them, if you're going to be in ministry, you can't be single. We're not going to let you work with the youth ministry if you're single. You can't do this if you're single. And so what people do, they quickly get married thinking that they're fulfilling God's will for their lives, but they are fulfilling man's dogma. You can be single and be used by God. You can be single and have purpose. Being married is not a prerequisite for God's hand on your life. It is not, but we've weaponized it. And then crucify people. Where my camera at?
Right there.
And then crucify people when those same marriages
fail.
Wow. I'll start with you, Chris, on this one. What do you think about that?
To get me,
Christian churches
No. He's wrong. He's dead wrong. He's talking from his own. He's talking from his spirit, not God's spirit. Yeah. I understand his frustration, but with 70+ single people in the black, I mean, come on. We got babies everywhere. Single parent rate is 70%, almost hitting 80. We're not going to recover from that. We need more marriages. I always say, well, how come churches don't have it? I preached marriage in a church one time, and I think I told you about this in my church. And a lady came up to me and said, "You can't say that. You can't say that because there's so many single women in the church. They're gonna be hurt." I said, "Well, the Bible says that you're supposed to be looking for a husband. Matter of fact, God wants to give you a husband. We need more family structure and more homes." He's talking from this bust the balloon culture, like you said, pop culture. He popping balloons and everything. These women want to be single. And it's a shame that we got a pick me movement out here now that black women have to be picked now. Black women is the least married and least desired right now. We can change that and change our homes and our structure through conservative marriage. I don't know what Kirk Franklin's smoking or drinking, but he's dead wrong about this. And he's in the ministry. That's not biblical what he's saying. You know, it is biblical what he's saying about the black community. You come to the black community, they should wonder why you're not married and got those 7 children with you. You just walked into the barbecue with 7 kids. And one of them I don't even know. That new one you got over there, who's that? You know, another baby. That's a baby you done adopted. You got 7 kids and no man walking in. Okay? I'm sorry. Let the church say amen. Sorry, listen, some of these single dysfunction he talking about in the fact, some of these ladies, you got so many kids, the court should appoint a man to their house just to serve time. Instead of sending them to jail, we're going to send them to your house to serve and take out your trash and raise your 7 children, especially that one we don't know about that you just walked in. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm sorry. Don't ask me. Listen, this everybody talking against religion nowadays and don't know what they talking about. I'm sorry. He's a rapper, singer anyway. Stick to go make a song, sir. Let somebody else do the sermons. Go make yourself a song. We need more husbands and more families than we can get right now. Please.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was talking about either. Like, that was so wrong. And the thing is that, he was saying that they're asking why you're not married and why you don't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that is a normal question to ask. I mean, of course, I'm not saying that I agree that a person shouldn't just marry someone without thinking. And it's good if someone, is not married and doesn't have kids. Because, the issue is that they're not married and have kids.
Right.
Like, that is a worse
situation.
So, he's speaking from, something that bothers him.
About the black barbecue that he don't like. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, and about the minister, he was saying that minister should be married. Well, actually, in the Orthodox Christian church, a priest in the Orthodox Christian cannot be a priest if he is not married.
In the Orthodox church. Right?
Yeah, in the Orthodox Christian church. And that's it's the oldest Christian church. And because, they have to be able to lead other
families. They have to be an example.
Right.
And maybe that's why we don't have in the black community so many marriages now. I know the backlash from this because I've been a preacher in the church and I preached about it. And a lot of people get mad about it. I'm sorry, that's only biblical. We're going against God. We're going against God. The single family rate is just too high.
So what he is actually doing, he is using, that's communist or social Marxist talking points that he is using in the church. I mean, that's exactly what we've been talking about, how Marxist ideas get infiltrated into the church, because now he's saying that, we shouldn't, what did he say? Weaponizing?
Yeah, weaponizing
Weaponizing marriage?
What are you talking about?
Why did they weaponize it?
It's actually, it's something that it's a duty of a Christian to have a family.
To grow families.
So what he is saying, he's actually trying to break
the middle class.
Break the religion, break tradition.
I think I know, and I think I understand what Kirk was, I guess, maybe trying to say or saying. I don't agree with this idea of it's being weaponized. I don't understand that. But he's actually, I think he's right in the sense that when he's talking about women, I guess, in particular, when women are of a certain age, they need to know that even if you're single, if you don't have children, you still have a purpose for your life. And I think that maybe it didn't come across well, but I think what he's saying, I have seen it. I know of people who have, I guess I would want to say, felt the ire, if you will, from their religious community when they were not married and or had children, particularly married and children, by a certain age. So again, not that they were anti-marriage or even anti-children, it just didn't happen for them for whatever reason, right? So I think I understand what he's saying there. You, as a child of God, as human beings born and made in the image of God, we all have a purpose. And I think I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think that was the message he was trying to put forth.
I can see that, but you know what? No, I see what you're saying. But you know what? Those women just gotta suck it up.
And do what?
And accept those comments. Those comments.
Oh, you mean the comment? Okay.
Because when someone is making those comments, they're not wishing any ill will on you.
Oh, I don't think they are.
They're actually worried about your well-being, because
yes.
then you get to a certain age and you cannot have children. And women, the society has been conditioning women to think that they can just go on and on being single and having boyfriends here and there.
Yeah, and babies everywhere.
Or not having children until they're God knows what age.
Yeah.
And then they're not able to have
To
kids.
raise that child.
And there's a reason why these things have been that way. That people have to get married.
More people should be married and having children than not.
Yeah, I'm gonna be one of those Christian people. I'm gonna be just like Cat Williams. Whose little baby? Whose little white baby that is? You walking up in here? Somebody should say something to him.
Yeah, and so I see what Shelley is saying somewhat. So, and I think the part that's missing from Kirk Franklin's message is if you're single, then your purpose should be devoted to God. So what happens is the reason why these single people within the church and Christian singles get pushed is because they're single. They're having sex
and children, babies everywhere.
And babies, right? And that's not of God. The most important thing in life is not finding a mate and having children, but serving God. So the purpose, again, initially was to wed and have children, and multiply. But if you're not doing that, then what are you doing with that extra time?
Right. What is your purpose for your life? Exactly.
In serving God. And because this is what we're all called to do, really. We're all called as Christians to serve God, to give Him.
And when we say serving God, it doesn't mean just in the church that you have to be a minister or whatever, playing the piece. That doesn't mean that you can serve God in your own purpose, in your capacity, whatever skills you have. You can serve God in many ways. Yeah. Not only that, I like what Tony Evans says. There are so many Christians. Sometimes we're so heavenly minded, we're no earthly good, because really the church is not the building. It's wherever Christians are in the world in which they find themselves, wherever. You don't have to be like the world, but you do have to be in the world, and you should be making a differance there.
Right. Two or more gathered.
But we're not getting the second part of this message.
That's why I said
they're saying, he said, don't want to demonize singles, which I agree. But then what are you doing with those singles? What is it? Because it's very difficult to be single, unattached, and celibate. And that's what we actually call it to do.
Right.
But this is why the Bible and this is why ministers push marriage.
Yes.
Because you don't want to be out here having unmarried sex as a Christian, but biblically based. Now I know
it's carnal, and it's a shame our community is. This is the church's job, so we wouldn't fall into carnal behavior, and we're falling into carnal behavior. We think it's normal.
But I would ask,
We shouldn't be listening to no rapper, anyways.
He's not. I don't know if he might be a considered rapper, but I would ask Kirk Franklin and maybe other people. Maybe I'll ask you, Chris. So I know his comments, I guess, were largely centered on the women. Well, then why are the men not asking people to marry, asking young ladies to get married in the church?
Well, you see I'm sorry. Speak my mind? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. Do you see the brother on the balloon that says half of y'all women ain't qualified? They're busting these red balloons on brothers and being disrespectful, okay? And then you walking seven, like I said, you walking 7 babies. Every year a new baby come into why would you ask them, Mayim? Some of these women are not qualified, and they're being unqualified because of messages like Kirk Franklin.
But doesn't it take 2 to make that baby?
No, come on, listen, Thug Boy. Listen, the Bible says, I walk as a child, I talk as a child, but when I became a man and woman, I put childish things aside. If you got babies by Thug Boy or Ray Ray or Man or Smook or Black Back on the corner, stop saying men. I get so tired of people saying, oh, these men out here, it takes 2 to tango. She got babies by Thug Bug, Smook right off the corner, selling drugs on the corner over there. She ain't even met a man yet. Okay, maybe she needs to get to church and see what a man is. She got 3 babies by Smook. Somebody should say something to her coming in the barbecue. Don't bring Smook up in here. Don't bring Smook Man. He'll shoot the barbecue up. That little one got a gun on him. Something. Come on now. We have to watch out for our community going too cardinal. If we get too cardinal, it's going to get bad for us as a community. Our middle class is broken. We have to build a middle class. You saying should the men? Yeah, come on, men. We are asking y'all for marriage, but we're only going to ask qualified women for marriage. We're not going to ask a lady with Smook and Man's baby. What am I going to do with her? Like I said, the court should assign somebody to her house. Instead of sending them to jail, the court should say, listen, sir, we're not going to send you to jail for that theft. You got to serve 6 years with this single mother over here with all 7 of those badass children. So do your time, and make sure they grow up safe. And if you do a good job, we'll suspend some of your sentence. That's what it should be. Okay, but it's always, I'm not going to.
Let me ask you this: we're talking about men and women.
Yeah.
Take a look at this. This is Johnathan Majors.
Oh,
Johnathan, is this the type of man you want, ladies? This is clip 5.
I love you. I love you beyond all limit. With all my strength. With all my heart, I love you. I'm supposed to be this tough and strong, and you done carried me so many nights. I love you. Through the fire.
Oh my God. I didn't see that part.
Oh my God. So
see that part.
This man he's crying, he's weeping. He's snotting, he has snot coming out of his nose. His face is like a grease of fire ball. And hers is too. Is this what, ladies? Is this what we want? Now that was Johnathan Majors. He's an actor. If you guys don't know, he had some trouble with the law a while back. He and his girlfriend had a domestic violence issue. Since then, he has been totally canceled. He was an up-and-coming actor. Been in some pretty major movies. And now he's on the comeback. Since then, he has started dating Megan Good, who is a B-C level actress, and a very beautiful young lady. And he was given an award, and he was literally spilling his heart out to her from his eyes, from his nose, and if we could see his pants, they may have been wet as well. Is this what we want, Shelley? Is this a man? Is
this what you want to pick you?
What I want for Johnathan Majors, I want him to get back on his medication. Because I think he's bipolar at the very least.
Yeah, that's a good observation.
It was funny in its own way, but it was pathetic. He has bipolar in my never to be humble opinion, okay? I didn't diagnose him, but that's my damn opinion. And Megan Good sitting there, she's crying, equally crying. Something is wrong with them. They need some serious help. Or like we used to say, they need to go to counseling. That was over the top. That's over the top.
All right. I want to acknowledge our super chats before we go to you, Yana. I do want to acknowledge you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Roland and Judy.
Thank you.
Says, enjoy your informative stream, USA, Trump 2024. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Roland and Judy. Kung Fu CJ says, Shelley is on point. The Bible says God can use anyone. Exactly. Well said, Kung Fu. Big Dog.
Hi.
Thank you so much, Big Dog. He says, how can she lose with the lamestream media on her side, controlling the narrative? These demo rats are pure evil.
You got it.
Absolutely, Big Dog. Thank you.
Oh, Deshaun, thank you.
Deshaun, thank you. Says, when you hear a politician say the words collective, fair, and sustainable like Harris did, that's communist talking points and gets the likes up.
Yep.
All right. Absolutely, Deshaun.
Oh, we got one more.
Thank you so much, X-Rocks, again. Thank you. Says Obama has not left Washington, D.C. He resides there. Yeah. First president in modern history to not retire. He controls the Democrat Party with Pelosi.
I would say yes.
Yes. Yes, indeed. What did you think of that, Johnathan Majors, Yana?
I feel like he has some mommy issues. Like that kind of reaction to a woman, it's almost like something you would have towards your mother. Like, such appreciation and, crying for whatever sacrifice she made. Like that would be, I guess, more appropriate. So I think there's some kind of, he hasn't been loved enough.
What are your thoughts? The only man on the panel. Have you ever cried your heart out?
Just simping at this. This is the rise of the simps. Listen, I love Johnathan Majors.
He's a good guy.
I think he would have been good. First of all, I kind of agree with Yana and Shelley. We might be. I'm not going to be too hard on the man, because he may be going through some issue. He did lose a Marvel contract that was lucrative.
Yes, he did.
He was going to play Kang the Conqueror in the Marvel movies in the next Avengers. I don't know if, I don't know if anybody's familiar with.
Marvel fan.
Oh, you know Kang the Conqueror did. Kang the Conqueror come down and kick everybody, all the Avengers' ass, and then go back in time and kick their ass a second time, and then go back in time and kick their ass when they babies. So he lost a role like that, and a black man at that, Kang the Conqueror, he was always purple in the comics, but they gave this role to him, and then he lost it just like that. So I don't think he's trying to make him good. I think he's just happy as hell to be out of, be back
in jail or whatever.
Yeah, and get a job back, and not, and he gotta bounce back from what he did with Marvel. But Robert Downey Jr. did it, so he should be able to do it too. I don't think he should be out there crying that damn much. Rely on God, lean on God, brother. Stop out there simping to her. She can't help you. She can't get the role back for you. She's not even in a Marvel movie.
Oh, she's done a lot of good. But according to him, I mean, no, she's like basically rescued him or whatever he was saying up there on that. Can we see that clip again?
No, you'll embarrass all the black community with him up there.
One more
When he
time.
started singing, why did he start singing? I love you, oh, girl. I was waiting for him to break out in the Keith Sweat song, girl.
5.
I love you. I love you beyond all limit. With all my strength. With all my heart, I love you. I'm supposed to be this tough and strong when you done carried me so many nights. I love you. Through the fire.
No! Don't sing, brother. Don't. Damn, whatever manhood left, he just threw it out.
I know. The last little bit, right?
Yeah. It's gone. Marvel, ain't never gonna call you back. You are not Kang the Conqueror, okay?
That's Shaka. That's my song. Shaka, Through the Fire. Oh my gosh, he's through the fire.
Hey, he's not Kang the Conqueror. He Johnathan the Simp. He's Johnathan the Simp now.
Let's see here. LAPD SWAT, thank you so much, says, we are witnessing the rise of the soy man. Another scary scenario. Press K being awoken at 300, being told a massive missile attack headed towards USA.
Yeah, that's scary too. She'll probably start laughing. She'll probably start laughing.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Oh, RC123. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Stop. Embarrassing every black man. I'm sorry to say. Rise of the Simps.
Oh my gosh.
Well, some women may like that. She must like it. She's with them, so
they are actors. Yeah. She can pour on the tears just like he can. I mean, she had snot and tears all down her hands. Come on, this is BS. They are so phony. Through the fire.
Stop. He gonna be walking on the stage slapping somebody soon.
Oh,
I know. Yeah.
He gonna get up and slap somebody from. Don't you keep making good name out of your mouth. Yeah. She saved me every night. She saved me. You don't through the fire. I love you, baby. I love you.
This is basically what the conclusion I came away with this is that this is all about them trying to portray and show that the black man with the strong black woman and how they uplifting each other. Yeah. They are full of it. Okay, that's what it is. This is all bunk.
Yeah.
I think me personally, I just think he crying over that Marvel contract. I cried when he lost it. I cried for Black America. He lost a good Kang the Conqueror. I would have loved to seen that movie, but
well, we'll see.
But keep his hand.
He has his woman. So,
for now.
All right, that does it for us. Then we have come to the end of the show tonight.
What about the clip about the 14-year-old girl?
Oh, we do have one more.
We do actually. There is a clip that we wanted to show you guys. It's a viral clip that has gone out regarding a parent with his 14-year-old daughter.
Kicking her out
of the house.
And we're just seeing it too.
Yeah, we haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Let me see here. All right, so we have it's clip 7. Take a look at
it again, bro. I'm not doing this shit again, bro. You just graduated 8th grade. Come on, man. Get your shit, bro. I'm finna see you with your mom. I'm not dealing with this shit, bro. You gotta get out of my house.
I don't care.
You gotta get out of my house, bro.
I go with my mom.
You gotta get out of my house, bro.
I'm gonna go with my mom.
The first time you got pregnant, I was cool with that. I don't really trip. I'm like, don't fuck make mistakes. But you pregnant again, you gotta have doing this shit on purpose, bro.
I'm not
doing this shit on purpose, bro.
I'm not doing it on
purpose. For all this, bro.
Get
your own shit first. Get your own shit first.
Get some strong legs.
Shit first. Then you can think about having all these kids. But right
I'm
now,
only in 8th
you're
grade.
doing too months, bro.
I'm only 8th grade. How am I gonna get my own shit?
What? Tweaking, bro.
How am I gonna get my own shit?
Ask the phone for your mom.
She
Ask
cussing.
the phone for your mom. She said, man, you got to get up out of here, bro. I'm not raising no. Bro, I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not doing it. I'm not, bro. I'm not. Bro,
I'm gonna
tired of
leave.
this shit, bro.
I'm gonna
Leave right
leave.
now, bro.
No,
Finish
like-
putting all this shit in the bag and get the right now, bro.
No. I'm gonna leave when I'm ready to leave.
I ain't doing it, bro. I'm not doing it. Your mama on her way, bro. I don't know where you going. We gotta get the hell out of here.
She don't even want me to live with her either. So
Bro,
why you?
that's on you and your mama, but I know what I'm doing. I'm not doing this.
So you're not gonna take care of your grandson?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, yeah, I got him. I got him, but you went and had another baby, so you doing this shit on purpose.
So what about the next baby?
You doing this
You're
shit
not
on
gonna take care of
purpose.
that baby either?
Don't worry about all that. Worry about this one now. Same to where to go. Get all them toys and shit out my house. Thank you. Get all them toys and shit out my house. All those toys and shit out my house.
For what? You need them, don't you?
Hurry up. Hurry up, bro. I'm the reason. I ain't got nothing to do with you.
But you didn't stop bringing Uncle Tony around. I told you to stop bringing him around.
Stop bringing my brother to Uncle Tony, bro.
Keep calling,
Would you
bro.
stop bringing
What
him
you trying
around?
to say? What you trying to say? Man, hurry up. I'm gonna call your mom.
He's the
Hurry
one
up and
who
wrap
talks.
this shit
He's
up.
the one who talks.
Hurry up and wrap this shit up so you can go.
How do you think I
So
know
can
what
go.
sex
So
is?
you
Uncle
can go.
Tony taught
So
me
you
what
can
sex
go.
was.
So you can go. I'm not doing this no more, bro.
Uncle Tony
You
taught
going
me
with
what
your
sex
mama.
was.
Going with your mama,
I
bro.
can't go with my mom.
She
You know she
can, bro.
doesn't want me with her.
That's on you and her, bro, but I can't do it.
All right, Shelly, I'll start with you on this. So as you guys could see, it was a dad talking to his daughter. She already has a child. I guess she's pregnant again.
In the
She's
8th grade.
14 in the 8th grade. And he's
So-
saying, you're out. I'm done with you. You cannot stay here because you're pregnant again.
So the I don't know if this is the most important point, but this one thing that comes to my mind is when she was pregnant the first time, she was at least 12. Because that baby looks like it was about at least 1. So where was the, I'm going to say accountability, not to the 12-year-old minor, but to the joker who impregnated her? And if it was Uncle Tony, whoever that is, then Uncle Tony should be hemmed up some damn where. Maybe he should be in the DC jail, wherever this may be. But that would be my focus, or at least a big part of the focus. I can't stop this man from putting her out, sending her with her mom. But to me, it's bigger than just her being pregnant this time, because at least 2 years ago, when she was a minor, in some state, in pretty much every state in the United States, a 12-year-old cannot give consent to be impregnated. Call it what you want.
Yeah, this is really sad. I mean, that situation is very, very sad, and she's still a minor.
Exactly.
So she's going to have 2 babies while still being a minor. So I feel really sorry for her. I don't know what's going on with this girl who is, violating her, because regardless whether it's an older person
Right.
or if it's someone around her age, it's still violating. She should not be doing stuff like this. She should not be getting pregnant. And that dad that is just kicking her out, I don't agree with that. She should not be kicked out. She has no place to go. She's saying, my mom doesn't want me. So how is this child is going to feel about her life and her worth, that none of her parents want her?
Right.
Nobody is helping
So now
her.
she's having babies because she wants that, right, to show love.
Exactly. Exactly. And this has happened to women, really young girls who said, you know what, I'm going to have a baby so someone can love me. Because I think that might be some of the things that's going on. Also, I think that she's such a child, she doesn't even know what the heck is going on.
Exactly.
Right.
And at 12, she was probably pregnant at 12, 13.
Exactly.
I understand, young girls, they do know about sex and sexuality, but still, they're not fully there. And so adults should be in charge.
Exactly.
And a real dad would actually lock her up instead of kicking her out.
No, the real dad would have locked up whoever the one and got him impregnated.
Right,
Got
but
impregnated.
also saying if she is running around loose, you should keep her in rather than kicking her out in the street.
Hey, she gotta go. She gotta go. I'm with the dad. Listen, this goes back to what we talked about with Kirk Franklin. You bring in. This is why you hold people accountable. Look at this.
When is the dad going to be held accountable to be a dad?
Well, you don't. First of all, they never mentioned anything about this. She said who's going to. She said the young girl, and I quote on the video.
She's 14.
The
She
14.
was 12
This is what she
years ago.
said.
Where's the father's parental accountability?
Listen, no. We can listen to what she said to her father. She said, "When are you going to take care of the child?" She pointed to the father and said, "The father, when are you going to take care of the child?" So apparently, she's out there wilding out and running around in the street. Hey, if you grown up to be having babies in my house, you done thought about the first one, and then you're gonna bring a second one in. Apparently, there's something accountability that's going on.
And it starts with the parents.
It do. He sent her to her mother. She said, "You're going to your mother." Apparently, she's out of control.
She may be out of control. I give you that.
Apparently, she's out of control.
But it also starts with the parents because guess what? They brought her into the world.
He said you came in here first.
They brought her into the world.
He said I kept you the first time.
Before she was 14.
What if she have another baby?
Long before she was 12.
What if she has another baby?
Long before that.
You
Where
sure?
are the parents? Oh, absolutely, I'm sure. It started long before
What
she
if
had
she's
the
sneaking
first
out?
one.
What if she's sneaking out and she's sleeping with Mook and Man Ray on the corner?
Look, you and Mook and Man can go find your own damn corner. This girl,
Chris,
whatever. This girl was 12 at the very least.
If she was 18,
She might be sneaking out. 18 is fine. She might be sneaking out.
If she was 18 and living with her dad and getting pregnant and making the
see one
dad
thing.
take care of the babies, then I can see the dad going, look, you're old enough to have a job, take care of yourself. Go find go to the father of the child and get him to take care. No, she is a child, like literally.
He said in the video, though, ladies, he said, "Listen, I took care of you the first time." He said, "But it looks like you're doing it."
Until she's at least 18.
Bringing babies in the house?
Put her on birth control. I don't know. Do something as a parent.
You can put the baby up for adoption at the very least. Put the baby up for adoption.
I say, how do we correct this young lady? How do he?
You don't correct her.
You can't correct them in the church. You can't correct them in the home now. Come on now. There's got to be some sort of standards. She got to go somewhere. She can't stay in the house with 2 babies.
Where?
Go to her mother's house. He said go to your mother's house.
You don't know what's going on in her mother's house.
No matter what a child does, unless it's a crime, if it's your child, you can't get rid of.
He said go to your mother's house.
But you don't know what's going on over there. Why isn't she at the mother's house to begin with? What if there's like drugs? Or I don't know. There could be a dangerous situation. Men coming in. Maybe her mother.
Apparently, Uncle Tony. She said you shouldn't bring Uncle. You shouldn't bring Uncle.
She didn't say Uncle Tony was the father. Apparently, she's out of control.
Isn't this what we've been asking for? Men to step up for the families.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
yes.
But the first. Even second.
Not the first, yeah.
Second,
Thank you.
Second,
He stepped up.
Third, whatever.
He stepped up.
Go to your mother's.
He said go to your mother's. Yes. Apparently he can't. Listen to what he said. He said, a second time? You must be doing this on purpose. So apparently, he said it out. Look, the words out of his mouth.
I know that's what
he never said somebody snuck in there and screwed her. He never said.
How does he know? How does he know that Uncle Tony? I'm just using this as a thing they use.
Uncle Tony. She obviously doing stuff again in his house that she's out of control.
What
do you do with an unruly child?
You are so easily bent on blaming a woman.
I'm not blaming her. He said in the video, taken from the facts of the video.
She said things too.
He said you are doing it on purpose.
So why is that the giving that she's doing on purpose?
That means he talked to her and said, "Don't do this."
You full of it. You like Mook and Man and Thug Bug.
Apparently, she running out there with Smook and Man. Listen to Smook and Man in the morning. She listened to her own father, and she's not taking instructions from her father.
Well, now we're asking what's wrong with him too. I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing the parents are not together for whatever reason, but there is some breakdown. It has been breaking down at least for the last 2 years when she was pregnant.
He didn't say I'm kicking you out. He said go to your mom's house.
But even still, anytime a child, because she's clearly a child, does something that is not in order with the household or does something like this, it's something that's not being either communicated
to her properly, or she disobeying.
Too much time on her hands,
alone, unsupervised. And this started 2 years ago, at least more than 2 years ago.
That's true. You've been throwing that the 2 years. I understand
because she was pregnant the first time.
And he said I stepped up. That baby was
about 1 or more in that picture, which means that it takes 9 months. Remember, at least 9 months. So she's 14 and she's pregnant again. She was at least 12, maybe 11, give or take, depending on when the baby was born. That she got pregnant and had that baby. Do the math with Mug, Thug Bug, and whoever else. They don't do the math. They might impregnate and then they wham bam and they gone. Maybe Uncle Tony was the culprit. I don't know.
You blaming it on, you talk about me and you're going to blame it on Uncle Tony. Uncle,
well, somebody impregnated her.
Uncle Tony didn't do it. Uncle Tony did not do it. She's obviously sneaking out the house and doing stuff she ain't supposed to do.
In biology, it still takes two, a male and a female.
Well, we do know that. So, but for out of anything, we are praying. We're praying for this young girl. We're praying for the children, the one that she has now and the one in the womb. And we're asking God to intervene in that situation because he's the only one that knows what's going on. He sees all, he knows all. And we ask God to have a supernatural effect in that house. Amen. Send your Holy Spirit down within that home and get some type of control because that will be done. We don't know what. I don't know if it's Tony. Stop. I don't know.
Y'all say that one more time.
I don't know, but that will be done. You know.
I gotta say that adults have to take responsibility in this situation. It's the responsibility of the adults. They have raised not raised this child in such a way that she is doing this in such an early age. You know, you got to look at yourself as an adult and be like, what did I do wrong? That my daughter is now dealing with this. And he needs to step up and be the father.
All right. Well, on that, we do have to end tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. We certainly appreciate you. Again, we will be in D.C. on Friday, so we'll post, stay locked to our YouTube page. We, in our social media, we'll post to let you guys know where we're going to be Friday in D.C. We'll be at the D.C. jail at the J6 Vigil. So we're going to be there supporting those people there. Also, we want to thank our guest, Chris Anderson, chairman of the Maryland Black Republican Council. Chris, is there anything you'd like to leave the audience before we go?
Look us up at MarylandBlackRepublicansCouncil.com. It's a little longer, Maryland Black Republicans with an S, Council.com. And Shelley and Yana, stop blaming Uncle Tony. It's not, Uncle Tony didn't do a damn thing.
All right. All right, guys. Again, check us out on our website at www.popandpoliticslive.com. Buy some merch. We're selling merch on there, guys. We do have a store set up there, so you can check out what we have and certainly support us that way. Your super chats and donations go a long way in helping us produce conservative content. Thank you so much. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.